Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. I'm your host, Juliette Clark. And today's guest is one of our panelists for the Book Innovation Panel that'll be happening in December. We are really excited about people who are renovating and upgrading the book marketing world because it's needed it for a very long time. Our guest today is Kathleen Kaiser, and her journey through the dynamic landscapes of marketing, technology, and the arts spans over 5 decades. Beginning as a music journalist and transitioning to publicity, Kathleen has left her mark on the most exhilarating industries of her generation. Her career has been a remarkable evolution from the electrifying world of rock and roll in the late 60s and 70s to the transformative digital and internet revolution of the late 80s, 90s, and zeros. She is the president of the Writers and Publishers Network, a national literary nonprofit, and a frequent conference speaker. Throughout her career, Kathleen's words have graced publications in the United States, Japan, the UK, and Italy. In addition, she is the author of 5 published books, 4 dedicated to the music industry, a novel, and a collection of plays. She launched the engaging podcast Talking Book Publishing with Kathleen Kaiser in March 2021, now co-hosted with poet and book marketer Adana Moriarty, with whom she is the co-founder of ProBookLaunch, a new book marketing assistant tool. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So stay tuned for my interview with Kathleen. Kathleen, welcome. I'm so excited to talk about your new product.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And thank you for having me.
So how did you and Adana Moriarty identify the need for LaunchMaster? And what specific pain were the authors experiencing that you kept obviously hearing over and over?
Well, it wasn't just that. We actually started developing it for ourselves because we're book marketers. And we were trying to speed up our workflow. And Adana actually started it because I was having her write the media kits, and you have to be exactly this many words and everything else. Mm-hmm. And her husband said, why don't you just try it? You're struggling with that for the last 3 days. So she put up what she had written and she played with it and so she sent it to me and I go, oh, this is really good. What'd you do? And we started working with it back in 2.5 years ago. In 2023 to improve our workflow. And then she got playing with it and realized she could create. She went to college she got certified in web design. So she understands the back end of a lot of stuff, can do a little coding and that. So she went and, started saying, I could make this something. She did it for herself so that it would be on top of chat, but it was contained so she could be working on different authors' work over and over, and it was all inside there based on their full manuscript. And found that there was a way you could mark a box on ChatGPT that they can't take the material you upload and use it to learn from.
Right, the vault.
So they can't learn from it. It's protected. So she was doing that with our work. And when we started really implementing it in 2024, our sales started going up for our clients. Getting better keywords. We were getting better categories. The descriptions were fitting because AI would go out. LaunchMaster is the name of the product. LaunchMaster would go out and say, these are the hot keywords right now on Amazon that fit your book and give them to us. So it was something we were using, but as we're watching it go, and I said, this is a product.
Yes.
Other people that can't afford to hire us, but really have good books because they send them to me. I read them and it's like, they don't have any money. I can't do anything, but this is good. So I said, let's turn it into something. So we worked on it for almost a year and about 1.5 years. And we kept doing really better and better and better with it. And then so we launched in January this year. And 2 weeks later, Amazon said they were changing all the algorithms.
Of course they are.
Classic, great timing. So we waited, we pulled back, and we started talking with all of our other friends who work with the algorithms in Amazon. What are you hearing? What are you hearing? And when they released it in June, we were all ready. There was like a group of us inputting it. And Dana had all of her friends that are, 30 years younger than me. And they're all playing with the algorithms and that. And we figured it out. And she made all of the changes, figured out what it was doing. And then they announced in July they were changing the ranking. So that was also something, but that was more a different thing. But what we did it for was that we needed help to speed up our workflow. And I know most authors, because I am one, we don't want to sit around doing all that writing and trying to figure out, I mean, how do you do a synopsis of your book in 500 words or less?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you know if it's catchy? And how do you know if you're using the right keywords and if you're using the right dynamic verbs that will grab readers' attentions and make them want to read your book? So we said, but if we put this out as a product, it could help them do about 80% of the marketing work that's essential to their sales. So we started a company called ProBookLaunch, and LaunchMaster is our main thing. We also have email lists for like reviewers that they can get, data sign templates for people to have for basically media kit one sheets that are attractive and eye-catching. And that they can just take, and LaunchMaster writes all the stuff for your media kit also.
Nice.
The other thing authors don't like is doing most of the time is social media. It will write social media posts and give you the active hashtags at this time that relate to your post. So we put all of this into it, and you fill out a questionnaire, like if you're having a book signing or something, you upload that and it will write a press release for you.
Sweet.
So it's really a full cycle, a lot of the stuff that takes a lot of time. I mean, having done this my entire career, different industries, but always being in publicity and marketing, you work on those subject lines now. You have to have the right ones. And what we did was we have it give three. So which one do you think really will catch? All three of them, LaunchMaster believes will catch eyes, but then we do it. And we just started getting higher opens on stuff and different things. It was exciting. It was very exciting. So we did it to help people. It's just like streamline your workflow so that instead of spending your time writing all this stuff and researching all of it and going through all of these things and trying to put together a media list, we've got it all here for you. So now you can spend your time sending emails to podcasters. You can spend your time, open up MailChimp or MailerLite and send out press releases. And here's the list you upload and send it to. And if they want to buy a regional list for like the media where they live within a 50-mile radius, we include that so that they can just go ahead and send them out and just sort of trying to speed it up so they have more time actually to start writing again while they're still marketing their book.
Yes, that is amazing. And I'm a publisher. So, I go through that same series of things that you're talking about. We have our own program that does it a little bit differently, but it's amazing what you can do with AI and just being able to streamline everything that used to take us hours before. We did that with the Audience Accelerator as well. We did it for us, and then we were like, this is a product. So it's amazing once you get into it and you realize that what you're doing has so much value to someone who maybe can't afford your one-on-one products, but can go get the same results. So that is absolutely amazing. So what's the typical workflow for an author using LaunchMaster from start to finish? What are they going to do in that process?
Okay, well, we have, if they go visit ProBookLaunch.com, we have a video. It takes 6 minutes, to run the entire thing. You start by uploading your manuscript, and it writes like a synopsis of your book, And you read that. This is, to me, the most important point. You read it, and you make sure it's emphasizing the things you want emphasized. Like with one, it kept emphasizing a brother. And the author wanted the ex-lover to be more important than her brother. And so I just say, rewrite it, emphasizing the ex-lover, not the brother. And it would rewrite it. And it's like, okay, now this is the basis of what we're going to work from. So then it writes your back cover copy. Then the next thing it does is write your Amazon description. And it gives you 3 different lead lines that are now attuned to the A10 Amazon algorithm. And you can select those, and you can use those in other places. It's really good. Then it gives you your keywords for Amazon. It gives you your categories and various subcategories that are like highly competitive, less used, but might get you higher in the rankings, stuff like that. And then we go into Ingram, because coming up with Ingram's categories and what it wants. We found the description for Amazon works on Ingram too, so no need to change it.
Okay.
Then we did that. Then it comes up with social media postings for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X. I think there's 5 of them. All of those are there, and it comes up with hashtags. And you can go back in and say, okay, this week, compare my book to this news story. And it'll write hashtags and it'll write you postings. And it can create graphics.
Nice.
Yeah, for like Instagram and stuff. So you go from there, and then it goes into working on, you fill out the form, it'll put together everything for your media kit, the author bio, all of that stuff. It'll put it all together for you. And then the press release if you need to do that. So it takes you through all those steps, and it takes 6 minutes. Because all you have to do is read what it said and say yes or no. And if it's no, tell it what you want changed. But if it's yes, it goes on to the next one and the next one.
So can you go back in? Let's say that my book isn't out yet, but I want to start building my platform. Can I keep going in and having it right, continuous?
Totally.
So not just a one shot.
No, it's use it over and over and over.
Oh, that's amazing. So how user-friendly is it? Like, I find a lot of authors are not that tech savvy. Is it something that, even someone who's not very tech savvy can easily work? It sounds like yes, no, probably it is.
Yeah, yeah. The main thing is, and we've done a video and we've done a step-by-step with illustrations, how to open up the ChatGPT 5 Pro account, I think it's, or Plus. They keep changing it. And then you go and you set that up, and then we show you how to add LaunchMaster, and we have videos on it. So if you're a reader or if you're a visual learner, you can do it. And then you just upload your manuscript, and it's basically yes or no.
That is amazing. So what specific marketing assets can LaunchMaster generate? And it sounds like it's pretty customizable for the genres. So if I'm an author who maybe I have a couple different genres I write in, can it handle those different genres or in different books? Yeah.
Yeah, because it works from one manuscript. Okay. If you're, everything for like, I have a client, the Opium Lord Daughters. I uploaded that manuscript once, but I have worked on it over and over and over and added things and changed things. They always work like that. It can keep doing it. Then the next book, you upload that manuscript and you have a complete, everything sitting there inside LaunchMaster of everything you've done with that. And of course, you can copy it. It will export it as a Word document. And the other thing that we've done on each of these steps is why this is important.
Very good, because a lot of these people don't know why they're doing what they're doing.
Most people have never had anything to do with marketing in their life.
Yeah. Yes.
So we put, why is this important? Because I thought people need to understand why they're doing this or why it's like this. Because I'm a why person. I want to know, why is this happening? Why is this working? So that's what we did. And you can walk all the way through it. If you want to keep the why parts, you have to copy it out, because when it takes it to exports it as a Word document, it drops all of that. We can't get it to include them. It's stubborn.
Yes.
And the fact is, the more you run stuff with it inside the program for that book, the more it gets adjusted to what you like. So it starts outputting stuff. It's learning all the time.
Right.
So it's learning what you like, what is going on. You say, you know what, let's try and pitch this. Like this one book I'm doing is a historical fiction novel, but it also has a great romance. I said, let's pitch the romance side. Let's come up with a romance approach for this and that and everything. And it just redid all of it, emphasizing the romance in the story.
Very nice. So this is not limited to new authors. If you are an author with a backlist, you can bring that in and probably refresh everything that you had. Maybe if you published, 5 years ago, now you're getting those new hot keywords and what people are looking for.
Well, here's the other thing. I've had a lot of friends. I had lunch with 2 authors about a month ago, right at the end of August. And they said, my July sales just dropped off. And these are women that have sold hundreds of thousands of books. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, have you changed your description for the new algorithms? And it was like, duh.
There's a new description, a new algorithm?
Yeah. And I've been trying to tell people about it because it really makes a difference. We've gone back to almost all of our clients and asked if it'd be okay if we updated their stuff. They all wanted it, and they're picking up again.
Nice. That is so nice.
You got to get into it. The one thing that's odd that Amazon did is on ranking, because before every hour they updated your ranking and your sales ranking and your 3 top categories and everything. Now they're just doing it once a day. And they started it the 1st of July. We, of course, had a book coming out July 11th. So we were like, we never even got a ranking. And it came out on a Thursday until Saturday. And it took till Tuesday to get all 3 categories. But then it was selling. Then it started taking off.
Okay.
But it's a much slower launch now on Amazon.
That's interesting. I like that, though, because there's nothing more irritating than having to check every hour like they were doing before. And it's never on the hour. It's delayed hours, and you just never know.
Who knows what time of day they were doing those?
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. But you want to go in, especially if you're a number 1 new release or something. You want to be grabbing all of those screen grabs of all of that verification.
Right.
And it's really important. Now it's like much slower. And it's like, well, actually, this makes launching a lot better.
No, I would think it was too. I haven't done a bestseller campaign this year since they've changed it over. We're just starting them again this month. But yeah, it would make it much easier to screen grab. It would make it much easier you don't have to do, it always felt so artificial to do some sort of campaign where we're all going to open on the same hour. It just seemed silly.
Yeah. And that's why I always launch on Thursdays, because the big houses launch on Tuesday. So they've grabbed all the oxygen out of the air for Tuesday and Wednesday. So, I like Thursdays. It's a little bit better. But it's really interesting. And the other thing you were saying about for authors with back catalogs, this is also a program for small publishers. Mm-hmm. We have a pro version of it. And it's a little more expensive, but then they can do their multiple books. And it really, for small people, the time you spent writing all that stuff, it really speeds it up.
Everything that is AI generated does that. The Superbrand Audience Accelerator used to take me a day to write all the information that's in it. So, I mean, it's amazing how much all of this speeds up and streamlines what we're doing as professionals. When we first started using AI, I felt like I wasn't working because I suddenly had more hours in my day. And it's like, what am I going to fill those with? And you probably experience the same thing when you once it gets the hang of it, you're like, oh my gosh, I can fit so much more in.
Yeah, it's what I'm back working on my novel, on my second novel, because I've had enough time. Uh-huh. And I'm doing it because we wanted time. Dana's a poet. And she wants stuff she wants. She's had a couple volumes. She's late getting something to her publisher right now, but we're authors also in our hearts. And so we understand this will help so much. And it drives sales. It drives eyeballs. And if you're going to run an Amazon ad campaign, or if you're going to do an ebook campaign or something like that, oh, that's the other thing. You can go in. You can just ask it. I'm doing an ebook campaign and I need a 300 character, a 650, and a 900 character. It'll write them for you. So when you upload them, they are, instead of sitting around counting the letters, you're going up into Word and go character count, because that took so long to do, but it was essential to the ebook promotions. It just pops them out.
Yeah, it's crazy. So where do you see? I see a lot of AI programs popping up. Have you seen others that you particularly like? I'm buying them and trying them here and there. And I have to say a lot of them I haven't been impressed with, but they need improvement. Let's just say that.
Yeah, a lot of them, I think they had AI created.
Oh, I never even thought of that because we did ours it was something we were already doing. So we just fed in the task. But yes, I will say in particular, As a publisher, I thought, well, wouldn't it be great if AI could generate the formatting and I could get rid of the formatters? So I tried one of the new programs and I was like, oh, wow, this is awful looking.
Yeah. I think the one thing that's another thing in behind, like where you don't see, but what we coded, what Adana coded into this is it bases everything on the Chicago Manual of Style.
Sweet.
So it's doing things correctly. It's got the Oxford commas and all those things that drive a lot of people crazy. But it's, you have to have that kind of preciseness if you're going to really be good, because what we're giving them is the professional level of stuff we give our clients. They're producing for themselves. So it has to be correct. It has to be Grammarly. I like Grammarly for I have it in everything I open up. It types in Grammarly, for something. I'm getting everything done. But these tools are out there. They're tools. They're not taking away your creativity. Marketing is a science. It is not you have to be creative in a way. But marketing is really a science. And this is a tool for people who aren't haven't spent their lives marketing to do.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting? People don't realize that, like you said, it's a science. It's trial and error, just like science. A lot of times people will write, they'll have the first campaign and it won't work. And they'll bring us something and they want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And we have to go through it and tell them, it's probably just a little tweak here or there that'll make a big difference. So it's not something that hits every time. And a lot of times you've got the right stuff. You're in front of the wrong audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's because your keywords are wrong, or maybe your categories are wrong, or something is off. And so having an assistant, our LaunchMaster, to go out there and do this for you, and it gives you options. You can select the ones you want. Like it gives you like 10 short keyword things, long phrases, different kinds you can use. So you select the ones you think are it. It doesn't do that for you, but it gives you the best.
Yes. And let me just go back to that for a minute. You guys, I know a lot of you run keywords. You don't run the long phrases, the key long words. And a lot of times those can make a huge difference. And if you're not in the industry, you don't even realize that that's something you can use in there. So
absolutely. And that's what people, when they're, I think it's 57% of people who buy a book on Amazon have no idea what they're going to buy when they enter Amazon. They just begin searching for something. That's all the keywords. And you've got to be able to tack to those. And the longer keywords are usually, longer phrases are often what people type in.
Yeah. So it sounds like this could be the difference between you being like 5 pages back or being on those front 2 pages and believe me, you guys, when I tell you, most people don't go past those first 2 pages. They hardly ever do. So, well, where can we find this and find you if we want to know more or purchase it?
Well, it's all at ProBookLaunch.com. That's our company. And if you go there, you'll see a demonstration of it. Adana and I've made videos throughout it, give you a lot of help, and you can purchase it there. So we're welcome to have you there. And if you want to contact me, I'm Kathleen at KathleenKaiser.com. So tell me you heard me on Juliet Clark's show. And, I'll definitely put that in the subject line. You got to catch my eye. Because, with the 200-300 emails I get a day.
I know we get a lot of emails. So Kathleen, thank you so much for sharing this. I love it that we've got innovators and, coming along that are just renovating this whole book world, because it needed it. The marketing end of this has needed this for a long time. Well, and also, you guys, if you don't know, we have a December event coming up. And Kathleen, it's a book innovation event, and Kathleen's going to be one of our speakers. So you'll actually get a chance to ask her questions about this towards the end of that panel discussion. So Kathleen, thank you so much.
Thank you.